Greetings, dear hearts, one and all. I don't know, how are you feeling at this time? My name is Pitman Browne, born in Kingston, Jamaica. I am an expatriate, going back some 50 years. I came here as a 17-year-old. So the poem that I'm presenting to you is one which is, you'd say, enshrined in Europe, as it is. So here we go then. Afro-France, Afro-French, Afro-Swedish, Afro-German, Afro-Polish, Afro-Dutch. We are here. We are here to make or break. Spring, summer, autumn, winter, British of the Scottish of the British, some of them, peanut chocolate, some of them, British of the Welsh and the Douglas, British of the Welsh and the South, go down south. All knowledge and information and upbringing of culture cometh from the south, and the education. So way down, we as a people have migrated all over Europe. Never mind Brazil and the rest of the cosmos. We know about it. We've been there. So into Europe, over Europe, into Europe, into Spain. Moors, Moorish. Who are the Moors? Revolution, flat revolution. Who taught that the earth was round? Agriculture. Who culture? Who are culture? Who mathematical? Who taught the earth was round? Who created electric light? Now, an American researcher in person of Dr. Omar Johnson has posed a particular question to which I'd like to bring into this poem at this moment. Who, for instance, is Leonardo da Vinci's teacher? Who is Michelangelo's teacher? Because both names are contemporaries of their time. Now, who was the force to be reckoned with during the blossoming of the Italian Renaissance? If, for instance, Europe has been trapped in the Dark Ages for the most part of 750 years, nearly 800 years, who was the force which was trying to bring them out of that cosmic collapse? Now, you see, the education system, hence there is an organization within Nottingham at this time called Moor Lions, and they are laden with the same types of inquiry. They're asking if there is such a Moorish involvement to the rescue of Europe, why is this not enshrined in our syllabus, enshrined in our curriculum, so that the culture mix within the England of now become all the more alert to all of this. This is knowledge. Where there is knowledge, there is power. And never mind, we will get to the bottom of all of this with the force of revelation. We are here. We are here. We are here to make a difference with our drills, with our skills, with our drama, with our literature, with our history, with our art, with our life, with our dance. Oh my goodness, we're going into the world of entertainment. We edutainment, we are the bringers of a multinational culture. Well, I rest my case. Greetings once again within the warmth, exuberance, and sentimentality of this particular moment, I am looking into the introspective melancholy and soul-searching principles of humanity. We are a spiritual people. And when I'm talking about spiritual people, just lock away any semblances of church and imagery. That is not, I'm looking deeper into the soul of humanity. We are spiritual beings operating on the cosmos, and therefore some of us, irrespective of where we come from and which culture we've been socialized, I am going to be asking the same question that you might be asking. Who is our God and where is our God? So that is the actual title of the poem. The title is enshrined in the mission statement. The question is the statement itself. Who and where is our God? Who is the God? Who is the God? What is the name? No, all we know. All we know is a mistranslation. Tell us the name. Tell us the name. Tell us the name, and we will know. In the beginning, right from the start, Elohim is a plural name. So God for the God, God for the light, God for the dark, God for the wrong, God for the right, and God for the land, and God for the rock of Gibraltar, God for the euro, God for the business, God for the German, God for the money, and God for the England, and God for the money. You know something? If I am putting it to you that God is a man like me and you, so IMF, you know, those are acronyms for what? For the International Monetary Fund, with all of the difficulties and problems of this structural adjustment program. They're trying to limit and threaten our horizon in case we're going to borrow more money from the IMF than was expected. Why are they doing this? Are they trying to make us less powerful? Because if we wanted to build positive structures, we can't do it. Why not? Because they are playing God. Key features within that organization of all such monetary organizations. Now, oh my goodness, don't go there. Rule, Egypt land. Golden rule, Egypt land. Where is the woman? No more God for the goddess of the land. No more life. Where is she? Kemet. Original name. No more bondage. No to the lockdown, rock of Gibraltar, no to the COVID, no to the vaccine, no to the put down, no to the lockdown, no to the beast, no to the six, no to the six and the 666. Time to reveal, time to wake up, time to heal, and time to effectuate that grand and glorious restitution. Once a people, we will be liberated at long last from all the difficulties of this lockdown. Why? Because our time, this is our time. Once again, we will be released from all of the bondages effectuated by our adversaries. Short excerpt, which turns out to be the contribution for my next poem. Now, I will take this excerpt from one of my books entitled, as you can see, Wishing Can Be Dangerous. So we're dealing with vibrations coming through from fantasies, daydreams, dream images. No, what our minds are capable of projecting in terms of fantasies. So listen to this, for instance. Evil influences are real. It takes only a spiritualist to understand. A spiritualist can provide tangible evidence of individuals engaging in blocking and interfering with the progress rates of another or other individuals, so to speak. A spiritualist deals with the spirit world all the time. The spiritualist, at the drop of a hat, can tell you which spirits are more stubborn and cantankerous to deal with. Finally, who or what is a spiritualist? A spiritualist is blessed with the eye of clairvoyance. That is the first thing. The second thing is a spiritualist pray and reflect and meditate. Those are skills that are enshrined within the life and times of a spiritualist. A spiritualist, generally speaking, really does pray in order to stay alive and awake. A spiritualist cannot afford to lax. The more a spiritualist prays, the more knowledge he or she is likely to acquire from the all-powerful Creator. Now, this is taking me into the realms of the unknown. I have had a dream, and whilst living in London, by the way, this is Nottingham, I've lived in London for about 7 years, and one night in the depths, while my body was held in the bonds of sleep, there was like heavy sound of thundering vibrations coming from a distance, but I was not frightened, I was not unnerved. And when I looked in the canopy of the skies, what did I see? The sleeping state. I saw like a massive sword, and I saw wings in black stretched out from the expanse of space, and a hand reached down, because I was so close to a precipice of destruction that the hand reached down and grabbed me and lifted me sky high, and I saw the sword. The sword was shining, so I'm wondering when I woke up, who is this? Who can it be? But the Archangel, Saint Michael. Strange, isn't it? Well, this book is about the supernatural. It is about the power of experiencing revelation and interpreting revelation correctly. There are many dreams ascribed to folks I know, and also to myself. And I am a believer in the Creator. Maybe I am enshrined with the semblance of a spiritualist. I hope that is part and parcel. The topic of this book, as you can see, children get out of the ghetto. This is my third self-published work. And I am going to read a poem that encapsulates some of the frustrations and hardships of young people who should have been at school. Sometimes I see them on the street. Who is your parents? Can I have a word with them? You know, it's frustrations at an all-time low. So I'm going to go straight into the poem. How about school? What about school? Education, education. not a school at all in sight. Tell me this, why is this? Them suspend, who is to blame? So walk and talk, talk and walk. Two pretty girl, them a walk and talk. Tired of the rule, tired of the school, tired of the teacher, tired of the food, tired of the beetroot, tired of the soup, tired of the teacher, tired of the course, tired of the put down, tired of the noise, tired of the story, tired of the vibes, and pure bad vibes, just like the food that them I get, which is give them food, give them shandy, give them brandy, give them randy, give them shine, take the weave, take the spliff, marijuana. Oh no, it's getting worse. This won't harm her, that won't harm her. Yes, it will. It turns out into a controversy in the back garden. Why aren't you at school? Now, I'm sorry, but this is it. Who are the parents? What kind of parents? Leave them daughter absent, down in the basement, boys, men, all night party, gambling, den are the pretty, no, ice and green, leave it. I'll say no more of this unless, of course, you are prepared to buy a copy. Don't forget the title is Children Get Out of the Ghetto. Time to bring ourselves into appropriate identification. Nottingham, here we come. My name is Pitman Browne, as though you've never heard the name. It's something to do with vibrations. Once a poet, always a poet. And this is inextricably bound up with my earlier presentation. Now, sitting at the right hand, oh yes, there's a lot more from where that comes, is young Ra. Now, there is a generation, now it's not a gap anymore. We are together. I would like to focus on this evening's topic, which, as we were saying from day one, is going to be enshrined within the following words. Who and where is our God? Now that question is as old as the hills, but we're looking at the abstract phenomenon. We are looking at ourselves as a people. We're intergenerational, multi-generational. We're coming from a complex of different family backgrounds. We, at the same time, are melaninated African people. So now, the origins of what I'm going to say, who and where is our God, came from out of a discussion on a very cold November day out in the market square. Most of us know where I'm talking about. A brother and myself, we were engaging, and I am so proud of the brother that I will take it upon myself to name the man. His name is Leslie Robinson. He is one of the fundamental backbone, I'd say, the vibrations that we get from men in a WhatsApp group entitled Who and Where is Our God? And a second person is young Ra. You'd say, well, what is he doing in heaven's name? He is standing his ground as a proud male within the confines of society and what it has to offer. He's a very strong man in his 30s. I am in my 70s. Don't worry about it. Now, the thing is, what is implicit, I would like to give honor, give credit to the Creator, the all-powerful Creator who mobilizes the self-esteem that our sister was talking about either. There are questions that are yet unanswered and situations that are yet unaccounted for. Now, the first thing I would like to share with you, my brother, is that I have had key problems in trying to identify with the Creator. Why am I having key problems? It's because different cultures, nuances and tonalities, different names for the Creator. I'll go straight in the written word. The King James translation, in Genesis 1, it talks about God. In Genesis 2, it's talking about Lord God. In Genesis 14, it is talking about the Most High. In Exodus 3 verse 15, it is talking about the I am that I am. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what I'm going to do? Because all these names are creating perspectives which at the end of the day I can't quite handle. So I will tell you straight away from now, at the tick of a flash, drop of a hat, that my specific way of addressing the Creator is saying the Most High. Have you got any problems with that?
No, I have no problems with that. The Most High is the Most High, because the Most High is the Supreme.
All right, yes, because we are looking at a hierarchical order, almost like a pyramidical structure, top, middle, lower middle, and flat on the bottom, right? You'd say the Maslow triangle. Maslow is a researcher, an elderly male in his 80s, and he has borrowed the ancient Egyptian triangle in order to make the point that the all-powerful Creator resonates with all of us. We have a personal relationship. Now, I am in God, but I am not religious. I am not in church. There are problems with the church. And the beauty of this group, there is a WhatsApp group entitled Who and Where is Our God? We started out with Brother Leslie and we ended up with about 7 of us. We went up to 10 and we are now about 14. Now I made a mistake. 15 of us strong. Now the reason we write is because I myself have got the impulse from authorship. I have self-published 6 books over the last 12 years. And this is why I enjoy writing to people, writing to members of family. And sometimes, you know, what I find so difficult is if I'm writing a letter to somebody and I don't get any response, and I'm wondering, why is it nobody wanting to respond? But I seem to forget that we are an oral tradition. If you've got something to tell me, my sister, something to tell me, the cameraman or my bro, just tell me and don't. Nobody with no write long letter. But the interesting aspects is that I respect all authors. Now I'm going back into the Bible again, because in order to find out, and we really and truly would like to get to the bottom of this.
Sir, sorry to interject, but also, even though you're saying that, obviously tell you, which is obviously simple because it's oral, it's more easy just to say what you want to say.
Mm-hmm.
It's also good to still write and keep memories and things jotted down, because this is what the ancient ancestors left behind for us. So if nowadays we have that saying, Chinese whisper, when you tell a story and it gets passed down in the wrong form, or people obviously manipulate it and change it. But because the ancestors wrote things down, they left us a message in writing in stone. And this is where we can always have this writing and this message and this memory, what is beautiful and been written and placed for us to always remember. Because the word, as we know today, orally has gone lost because our family has lost the way. Like you said, you're a man of God, not religion, because what? Religion is division.
All right. Yes.
Our family has now been divided, and divided we have fallen, divided and conquered. And they have conquered our family. So if we break our mindset of religion and look at what our ancestors have written and left behind in our manuscripts, on the walls, in ancient time, what is still present today, then we can find and know thyself. So we have to give thanks and praise sometimes to writing and things left behind from our ancestors. Or if we need to write to one another, send messages, and like you said, you have books, you're an author, so your books are here to leave a legacy behind what you ever want to share with the next generation, younger generation like myself, your children, your grandchildren to come, and so on, so on.
Come, let us reason together. And this is exactly what we're doing. The younger to the older, to the child, to our ever eternity, because age comes with experience.
Legacy is key.
Yes. And, you know, when I go into the Mahat, the mystery of the woman, I have something to say. Well, I cannot feel the fullness of God in the whole book of Genesis. Sorry. No, but this is the way I am responding to the word as I read it. Because the Mahat, the ancient Mahat, going all the way back to the mysteries of ancient Egypt. What is Mahat? Ma is mother. Ma, and it's just the matrix. We're getting into the feminine gender. And the feminine gender, the Mahat, the law of Mahat, is represented by a woman. Now it comes into Babylon, a woman again. Now inside our Bible, because male, patriarchal, dominant characteristic, man, and witchcraft, Brit means a covenant. And Ish, Brit-ish, Hebrew for male. So we can see that with man, King James and the 42 scholars, it's a runaway thing with male gender. So within our Bibles, Genesis have put the woman down on the feet. In Genesis 3:15, he ruled. She will bring forth seed with pain, and she must be ruled under the auspices of her husband. I do not like that. There needs in the book of Genesis for me to appreciate the all-powerful Creator to be something called gender balance.
But then even so, saying that though, so wouldn't you also say that we could even elaborate on Genesis? And we could also say, even though you say it's male dominant, Genesis is not really male dominant, even though it's talking about the creation of life from the Most High. We can also talk about, well, why is it called Genesis? Right. And when we talk about Genesis, we can, because we're here to also break the knots and spells in words and in the biblical texts and what's going on worldly around us, as we are here to be more and not be less, and see more. See more. Time to see the truth, 2020 vision. So when we look at Genesis, wouldn't you say that within the wordplay there's somewhere where they've been lying to us, but the truth is there, where you will see that it says genes of Isis, which, like you said, sir, goes back to Mother Mahat, Mother Aset. So that's who Isis is, Mother Aset, genes of Isis.
Yes.
Going back to ancient African time.
Yeah, well, I'm afraid, yes, there are semblances of the gender balance that I would have liked to see, but then it has been rough and tumble. It's become worse and worse until AD 25, when Constantine the Great, he decided, in order to create that, what do you call it, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, the woman, the Egyptian woman, was kicked out, straight out. So we need to have a Father, man, Son, man, and Holy Ghost. Come now, something is extremely wrong.
Ghost woman,
as Christians,
tried to eradicate her.
yeah, we are outsiders, you'd say, not having a chance to go into these conferences and to hear what is being discussed. It is purely for the bishops and the cardinals. And I think sometimes what I'd like to look at for now, here and now, what I would like to look at is just to take a sample viewpoint. Now, Brother Leslie, his personal approach to this business of understanding God is that we can equate with a name, but then again, not necessarily a name, because the Spirit is before the authorship. The Spirit is before the written word. Language comes after. And as long as we are in harmony with the Spirit is life. And life comes A, B, C, D from out of the hieroglyphics. What do I mean when I say hieroglyphics? Hiero means holy, in ancient Egyptian language, of course. And glyphics means written word in, you'd say, in graphic form. We did not write in English at that time because there was sentences, words. No, we wrote in graphic form. And the question that Brother Leslie was asking, is there a name for the Creator? Well, yes and no. There are attributes of the Creator of the land, the Creator of the sea, the Creator by night, and the Creator by day. But to actually go into the hieroglyphics, the language of ideographic, pictorial, the word that we're seeing right now is NT. Those three letters are consonants. There were no vowels. Vowels came much later in history. Now, what do I mean by NTR? Natr. And from netr comes nature. So, what Brother Leslie was trying to say to us, as long as we find out, try and discover what are the laws of nature. There is a law to do with the food we eat. And going back to Genesis 1 verse 29, we are advised to eat the grass and the grain. The chocho and the yam and the radish and the ginger, all of these coming from the family of the grass and the grain. And it also says the herbs are for the healing of the nation. Now, there is a brother in this shop. I welcome the fact that he has shared with me valuable knowledge to do with the upbuilding, the cleansing of the organs of the body by drinking certain material coming straight from out of the herbs and the herbal dynasty of plants. I give thanks for the vision that is open to each and every one of us. We are serving the Creator in each respective capacity, and I give thanks for that. Now, I would like to ask you, my brother, once I have mentioned Brother Leslie and the laws of nature, because if we were obeying some of these laws of nature, we would be able to live to the 300 years, but we can't, because meat was not given to us in the first place. Meat came much after the fall of mankind, with blood sacrifice. So I would like to turn my attention to you, my brother, to ask you, what might be your perspective on a name for the Creator?
Well, like I said, I agree with you in the sense of where you said Most High, because when you say the Most High, there's nothing higher than the Most High. The Most High is the highest, because it's the Most High. So you can't go wrong with that. And I find that us as a black people, even though we are not black, but then that's something else, because we are more than black, we are confused and don't know sense of direction and know who we are. So when to say this, to say that, that means we are soul people and we love God and God-fearing people. So we try to find God through different walks of life, different faiths, different religions. And like I said, because we are diverted into so many different religions, we're not realizing that, like I said, all religion shows love, meant to show unity, show that all humanity comes from God if you are of good. And if you're of bad, you are obviously, either they would say Satan if you're Christian and Judaism, or Shaitan if you're a Muslim. So it's still the same thing. There's good God, higher level, and lower level demonic forces, devil, Satan, satanic antics. So you need to know that there's only two children. You're a child of the Most High or you're a child of the devil. So we as black family need to know, if you are a Christian and you are dealing with Jesus or Yahshua, which is the correct African terminology, or if you are a Muslim and you're dealing with Isa, which still goes back to Yahshua, the correct terminology. Yes? If you're going back to Buddhism, which you're dealing with Buddha. Buddha was a black Chinese man as well, Blackanese. Going to Hinduism, which obviously you'll have Krishna, black brother again. So we are, no matter what faith and religions what we are in, it was just a teaching. We had the understanding in nature and how to see different attributes. God expresses herself and his self, because when we're dealing with God, sir, they always talk like you were saying, that like God is always man, like masculine. But yes, God is man, because God is masculine when we're dealing with God. But when we're dealing with God, wouldn't God also have a companion? Wouldn't there be a counterparty? So when we're dealing with God, there would also be a goddess.
Yes.
So this is why I say, when we're dealing with religion, because a lot of these Muslims don't know that obviously when we go back to ancient time, we knew that the moon and the crest, that represented the female energy. So we know that Allah would have to be a female energy, a female goddess. And so we obviously understood that in Ethiopia and ancient Kemet. So this is why we as Kushites and Christians, we understood in those Orthodox times that there was balance. So we saved as Ethiopians, because it's in the biblical text, saved the Muslims and Muhammad, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So when we talk about Christianity, they say God is man, like you're saying, masculine, and you're dealing with again, Jesus, or for the correct terminology, Asian African, Yeshua. So we know that that's masculine, father and son. But where would the mother be then? That's where we have to know that that's the mother dealing with the Muslim. So when you put all these faiths together, because this is what the white man or the suppressors, because it's not just white man, you have bad black people too in the world. So from bad black people to bad white people to bad Asian people, all these people in high authority who own these so-called title religions because they're making money off religion. You've got the Most High's prophets, like I and I, you and I. Then you'll have the prophets what's making money off the Most High's word. And this is what they're doing in the churches, in the mosques. They're selling the Most High's story and trying to confuse the mass and people and make them war amongst each other, not make them come in unity and love.
Warring against each other is bringing me here and now into the wide world. You'd say the international arena of culture. Well, just look at the word involved in culture. So I have got to try my very best to see what I can make of the word God. Where did it come from? Did the word God come from the Indian Sanskrit God? God from God. Then when the German Martin Luther was ready to create the German Bible, he introduced the name G-H-U-T-T, Gut, for the all-powerful creator. By the time it got onto the English mainland, because they're always Johnny come late, last to come, they said, oh, that's good. Good. That's G-H-U-D. Good. G-O-O-D. We'll just take out one of the O. Bam. They've got God. So God is a man-made phenomenon that has been hewn out of culture. Our culture, out of language, the situations that bind us either together or separate us. Some of their languages that we do not understand. So one Pope spoke 17 languages. I can tell you he did not speak them fluently, because we all have problems, including, just look at King James and the 40 scholars. Which one of these 40 scholars were women? There is a big gender imbalance there, and I see it. I see you're actually addressing it in your own way. But, you know, I am looking at African Americans.
Well, sir, there was, like you said, when you look into the books, there's books missing from the Bible. These are the things what you're not elaborating on and telling the mass and the people. There was female prophetesses in biblical times. There's female prophetesses today. But we as men don't lift up our women or give them a voice. So now we are masters on controlling things. We are controlling literature, we're controlling books, we're controlling school as male dominant and masculinity, and saying that the women can't rise in authority and trying to overshadow them. So we left their story out of it. And when we're dealing with their story is called her story. But remember, we keep dealing with his story, and it goes back to male gender attributes and principles and fundamental foundations what they're giving us from white man, when we know as Africans, as black man, melanated men, we knew that obviously in the village the women was head.
Yes.
And she had say, and she played a major part. And in ancient times, this is where the women was warrioresses too. This is why they gave you Black Panther, and you see that the Black Panther was surrounded by all his lionesses, just like in, well, his pantheresses, should I say? But it's just like in nature, the Nataru. It's the same principle.
Yes, indeed, the same principle. And amongst the houses of the pharaohs, there are 46 houses, 46 dynasties, and the law of Mahat says that there are 42 commandments, out of which came the 10 commandments, leaving 32 to be reckoned with. As we journey from one culture to another, we've even got to find it is going to be very difficult. We really have got to question this phenomenon inextricably bound up with the Christ, because we have heard about Pope Julius II, or was it Pope Nicholas V, who decided that these 10 Africans must be enslaved. In order to be enslaved, they must be baptized by force and become Christians. And the ship that is going to take them all the way to Virginia and Maryland in the United States of America is going to be called the Jesus ship. What kind of a Jesus is this? I have read the New Testament, and there are about 5 versions, 5 Jesuses in the New Testament. There is Jesus Justus of the circumcision from Colossians 4 verse 11. Then there is Judas Barabbas, him named Jesus as well. And say, oh, well, Jesus also, who is, you'd say like Dr. Martin Luther King, an integrationist. He says, I pray in St. John 17 verse 9, not for the world, but I pray for those whom thou hast given me. And in the same St. John, it says, for God so loved the world that he gave us his only, here, blue-eyed, blonde boy of the age of 33, that through him, so there is a clash of, it's a culture, because if we do not know as African Americans, which they're very vibrant and dynamic with the journey, they say, organizing, let us learn and find out where is our God, where is our language, where is our culture, and we are determined to find out what is behind the word GOD. Is it white supremacy?
So good. So good. Actually, you are a god. But this is what I'm trying to say. As I was about to say, so off what you're saying, sir, Jesus is obviously is multiple people. And
yes.
So then, would Jesus have anything to do with us, as would that be our ancestral savior? Is that the correct terminology?
Absolutely no.
Okay, then.
The original Jesus.
Because that's a shit what took away our ancestors.
Yes, it did. It did damage to our minds, to our education. Looking at the young, Marcus Garvey says, teach the young people to paint and draw. Give them an image of what their God looks like.
So why today we as a black family then, even as we reside in Christianity, or even some as in Rastas, or no matter what faith you were in, they still deal with, even a Muslim, as Jesus. Why can't we embrace our Israelite or Hebrew name as Yahshua? Even as the elders, they're still caught up in the technology and the spells.
Yes.
Where in the churches they will say that as elders it doesn't matter, his name is Jesus, it's the translation. But like you stated with facts, that's a wicked shit what took away our ancestors,
and
our
that is a wicked
fathers
Jesus.
and mothers. Yes, wicked Jesus.
Oh dear. And the Jesus that is supposed to be buried underneath the basilica in Rome in order to represent European interests. They originally called that man in Acts of the Apostles 8 Bar Jesus. That is a contentious name, but that man is supposed to have been buried in the basilica in order to represent European interests. And where are we as African people? And it is true that time has now come to search, open doors. I'm so pleased to see the vibrance and the dynamic way in which you open up this subject. I've been listening to the ladies sitting in this place, one of whom is Sister Gloria, a part of this wonderful group, Who and Where is Our God. And it was illuminating, it was refreshing to hear what is her perspective, an outlook on whether or not women are losing that sense of balance. So we are here as two men in order to look at male gender. Have male behave very well? Because, for instance, why was it that King James did not allow women to read the Bible? At the hieroglyphics, life becomes a little more bearable. Sometimes if we mix the sweet and the sour, and we also bring a touch of humor, a touch of glory. We are a multitude, a mixture, the particles that make us. We are wonderfully and fearfully made. Give thanks. So now, you know, I have to say that language separates us. It also brings us together. Culture separates us. It also brings us together. We've got 66 books in a Bible, only to realize that 6 of those books have been taken out. So they're called apocryphal. And that more than that, I think there's a lot more. So why is it, for instance, the Conference of Laodicea has decided that the book of Enoch, which is now the book that is entrenched in Ethiopian, that we are not allowed to have access to it? Where is the book of the Maccabees?
You know why, sir. You know why. Mm-hmm. Because if we want to talk about that, they know that obviously we're more than them. So when you're talking about the book of Enoch now, which is not really in the King James book or the average Bible, because like you said, these are books what are hidden from us or taken away from us to stunt our knowledge growth. Now when we're dealing with the book of Enoch, that will start opening doors in our minds and start making us know that. So maybe we'll have to touch on that on the next session about book of Enoch and different books, what is missing from our biblical manuscript, if it's not the Bible or the Quran. Just we'll put the mystery together to find out and cipher and teach the people where our God is, because we know where our goddess and God is, because we are the manifestation of them today, and it's about sharing that knowledge with our brothers and sisters, because we are the Most High's children. So, yeah.
And I feel that today, there is no day like today, because tomorrow is never promised. Once you are dead, then I believe that there is life in the hereafter. We do not understand that life. It's almost like going through different trap doors. The life after and the life after and the life after. But one thing that is certain is that time, there is a proximity of different times. We sleep, we wake, we have midday and we have evening and we have midnight. In the spirit world, there is only one time, and that is now. Where do we go from now? From here? What have we learned today? All of my listeners this evening, including this wonderful, she is a poet. When I first met her, and the energy is beautiful. We need poets in today's society. And Sister Gloria has been a vibrant and dynamic force in this group called Who and Where Is Our God? Where would we be without the goddesses, the queens who have ruled from generation to one generation? I hope that at the end of this, I'm coming towards a climax now, I would like to acclaim the all-powerful creator, because if they say where life is and the spirit is energy, where does the energy come from? Of course, there is a hierarchical order, thought orders of cleansing until it reaches a certain level where we become united with the God of creation. May this be. Shall I ask you, if there is a final word, I shall let the young merge with the elder, and we will have this privilege of giving you the last word.
Thank you, sir. Well, my last words would just be that as we are trying to find out where is our God, it's better to find out where our God is now than before you find your maker when it's too late. So seek the truth now, seek your Most High now, yeah, because you have one physical life and it's about how you live right now and get to know and build your relationship from now, the present, like Mr. Pitman says, the present time. There's no time like now. So get to know your creator now before it's too late, because there's only one thing what's promised to us: physical death, yeah? And then that's where we live on, you with me? More life, life after life, because this is just material, you with me? We're more than this. So before you don't know God and you pass on because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, is not promised to anybody, because a lot of people are dropping off. So my condolence to, and support and love to all the families who was watching this and out there who may have lost a loved one. But right about now, it's about waking up, realizing, you with me, each one teach one, and together as a family, seek truth, seek love, seek the Most High. So tune in to us next week, Tuesday, yeah? Sir Mr. Uncle Pitman Browne, yeah? From 7 to 7:30, then myself will be joining Mr. Pitman, sir.
And his guests,
which will be Sister LV. So come and join us from 7:30 to 8 o'clock, where we'll be conversating with you lot to say, where is our God?